Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode 1, DJI 2025 release preview. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. And with us, Marcus is going to join us here shortly. But we have very special guest co-host tonight, Captain Ray Kelly and Johnnie, who's doing he's doing a paid advertisement for Idaho Quadcopter. Doesn't get any better than this, folks. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for the invitation, Bill. Really,
Absolutely.
I've been watching you for many years now.
Well, yeah, it's like 8 seasons. Holy cow!
Oh, wow.
I mean, I started out by myself, and then Ron joined me. Oh, it was funny. It was like the second episode that Ron joined me, I got swatted. Okay, it was hilarious. I'm still laughing about that to this day. But Ron's like, "What do I do?" And I'm just like, "Just go for it." And he started talking and everything. And then I ended up coming back and finishing up the show. But no, we've been doing this for 8 years, and Lord willing, we're going to keep on doing it as long as we got drones, as long as we got you guys out there, and we got a full house. I mean, we have an absolute total full house, and let's get to that right here. Yeah. Let's see who all we got. Oh my gosh. Drone Shots, Giggles FPV, Akarasho, Bud Beaver's here, Steve Janess. Let's see who else we got. Scott Nadeau. Let's see. John Flynn. Welcome, John. Big Orange
Alan
Drone Fire.
over at
Zach.
Ireland.
Yeah. Mario's here. Lauren is here. Jay Bird is here. Bill is here. Welcome, Bill. Glad to see you tonight.
Dr. Ted, I see. Dr.
Art
Ted
is here. Wow, we got absolutely full house. First of all, I want to wish everybody a very happy New Year. This is the first show of the year. Wanted to make sure you did. Told you that. Second of all, thank you for being patient with me in the month of December. I didn't plan it this way. Well, I planned on having like at least 3 weeks in a row where you were going to see some of the better shows from last year. And thank you guys for watching it. You guys did a great job. And I set it up so you could have a chat. And that's why I wanted to do that on purpose. And I know you guys did a great job with that. And thank you. But it ended up being in my favor because both Valerie and I were sick as you could not believe. Oh, wow. We had cough, cold, strep throat, ear infections, check all the boxes. Okay. We had them all. 4 doctor's visits for me, 2 for Valerie, just no pneumonia, which was a good thing. And we're finally back to getting to square one here without, I can sleep at least 6 or 7 hours a night now without coughing. So yeah, so we're back there, but thank you guys for doing that. We appreciate that. Got a great show lined up. Marcus is going to join us here in a moment. For those of you who aren't aware, Ron had a minor surgical procedure yesterday. Atrial fibrillation. He has atrial fibrillation, and evidently, I think what they do is they shock the heart back into normal rhythm. He messaged me. He said it went well. He's got a scratchy throat from being intubated, but other than that, he's resting and doing well. And our thoughts and prayers are with you, Ron. Hope you have a speedy recovery. I'd like to see you back soon. Marcus is running the show right now. And he did a great job last night. Kudos to Marcus for that. And everybody else on Drone Nation, they picked up the pace for you. So good deal there. So we actually got a lot to talk about tonight. There's a lot going on. I mean, we're starting off 2025 with a bang. I mean, with an absolute bang. Now, a couple things here first thing that I wanted to start off with is, it's as time goes by, DJI is ending support for things. Okay. And DJI is ending support for the Mavic Pro Platinum. And I mean, a lot of people completely, just this one caught me by surprise. I thought that had been support had gone away for a long time ago, but apparently it's going to be up April 1st, 2025. It's going to last until then. So, but I mean, it was a groundbreaking drone. I mean, it really set the bar for everything that we enjoy today right now. And I took some effort this year. I'm going to make an effort to post all these articles, not only to Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group, but to the page as well, too. This is out on the page, so you guys can go ahead and read this at your leisure. But I wanted to make everybody aware of this, that as some of these drones age here, we're going to start seeing things like this. The support's going to be ending for them.
When did that come out, Bill? I mean, what
2016.
Okay.
Came out.
Right. So almost.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't long
before
after
my
the original
time.
Mavic.
Before my time, Bill.
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
too.
it wasn't long after the original Mavic Pro came out that this came out, and there wasn't much of a difference between the two, to be honest with you. I think maybe battery life was a little bit better on this, but not much. And they had some different, believe it or not, decals on it and stuff, and I don't know. Yeah,
it's almost 10 years of support. I mean, I'm not, that's pretty. 9 years. So.
And that was,
everybody who had that drone loved it, though.
Oh yeah, the original Mavic Pro was fantastic. I had, it was groundbreaking, and it was something like, I had come from, what I had previously was an Autel X-Star Premium, and the orange, I called it the orange pumpkin, all right, and it looked like a Phantom 4 Pro.
Yeah.
And then getting this was just like, and I wanted to be real careful with it. I remember when I got the Mavic Pro, I wanted to be careful with it because it's like unfolding the legs. I'm like, well, how do I do this here? Kind of a thing. And then, believe it or not, I was trying to get the gimbal cover off, and I couldn't do it. And I got out to a group, and I asked somebody, I said, how do you get this gimbal cover off? He posted like a 5-second clip and showed me how to do it. So,
right.
So that was great. And that was even before I started the channel here, because that was back in 2016. So
2016.
Yeah, that kind of started things here. Now there's a couple articles here related again to one of our hot topic about about the drone ban. China slams U.S. plan to ban its commercial drones. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said the U.S. on Friday, generalizing concept of national security, interfering and restricting normal economic and trade exchanges, and undermining the security and stability of global production and supply chains. All right. And then there's another article here that I wanted to go to as well about this, where let me go ahead and get that up here. U.S. seeks public input. Okay, let's get that up. U.S. seeks public input on drone supply chain rules, and it's with the Commerce Department, Bureau of Industry and Security, released advance notice of proposed rulemaking to address potential national security risks associated with information communication technologies. All right, and then DJI major player under scrutiny, and it said they're seeking input from the public. But what I did, I actually emailed that person that wrote the article on Drone XL. It's like, how do we contact this department? They said they want to hear your hear your opinion. I said, how do we do? Give us some information here. Let us be able to do that. So, but nothing other than that. But I'm putting this out here. These articles are here. Read through these articles, guys, because they're very informative. They do talk a lot about what's going on, about the current state of things. And right now it's kind of like in flux. So just keep paying attention to what's going on. I hope you're registered with that site that Vic Moss runs. Yeah. He does a great job on that. He stays really on top of that. And I think I probably want to get him on sometime early this year. So we'll talk to him and see how things are going regarding this, because I think this is something that we're all kind of concerned about.
The Drone Advocacy Service Providers Group is really a great group. He's doing a great job with it.
They really do. I mean, and they set up that form letter, which is a good thing, but they encourage you to put your own flavor on that letter when you send that to that. And then the other thing is, they also encourage you, and I encourage you as well, don't just send that email. Call your congressman. Call your United States Senator's office up. Speak to a person. Don't leave a voicemail, okay? They take numbers every day on how many calls they get into the office. And our two U.S. senators both have offices here in Tampa. So, I call them. I wasn't able to get a hold through Marco Rubio, who's not going to be our U.S. Senator anymore because he's going to be Secretary of State. But I was able to get a hold. But Rick Scott, who's our U.S. Senator as well in Florida, I was able to get a hold and talk to one of his aides in the office, which was great. So, but be persistent and be nice. Okay. Don't be flaming when you call these guys here. Okay. That's the last thing in the world we need. Okay. Guys, just go and say, I'm a hobbyist. I enjoy the hobby. you know, I just want to keep being able to do things, you know, and you know, take video and just enjoy this great hobby.
And Bill, one thing we hit on last night, I mean, we think our voice is big, but it's a very small voice, you know, compared to if they were trying to ban, you know, like Coca-Cola or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's our voice is small. So, I mean, we think it's a huge, but, you know, but yeah, because right now there's a lot going on with that. Of course, what's happening with some of the air shows and the sightings over, you know, on the East Coast there. So, hey, yeah.
Well, you know, and this is a good time. I
think things are going to calm down now. I think they will.
They will.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw Billy Kyle's latest video about the New Jersey drone ban.
Yeah, he made a lot of good points.
He did, and that's why. And it was funny because if you read through the comments on there, I got the biggest kick. Billy's straightforward. Okay, there's no he just this is how it is. All right. And boy, oh boy, those comments were, I mean, it was, you wanted to laugh after reading through some of these comments here. Okay. Yeah. The conspiracy theories, Billy's an agent of the federal government. And oh my gosh, it was off the rails. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay. Billy, an agent of the federal government. Seriously. I mean, come on.
He can't keep a secret, so he can't be, you know. No,
the only thing that Billy's an agent for is for Dobo. Okay, that's about it.
Hey, you know what? It's crazy. And Bill, you know, you put up a lot of videos, and you get some great comments, but you got to have a little thick skin now and then. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and he does. And Billy, you know, that's what's so good about Billy. It's like, you know, he's like a duck, you know, let it roll off your back. Kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what that is. Because I watched his video. It was a good video. It made a lot of sense on there. And I mean, this was funny. I saw this guy. He was a former Navy SEAL. All right. And he put out a video. Somebody said, you need to watch this. And it was posted, actually. Somebody posted this in a comment out on Bill the Drone Reviewer. It says, you need to watch this because it's related to the New Jersey drone ban. I said, okay. And it was this guy. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's up like a Joe Rogan kind of guy. Okay. He's out on YouTube. I forget his name, off the cuff, but he was talking about that Tesla bomb incident, Cybertruck incident out in Vegas. And the guy, this Matthew Leibelsberger or whatever his name is, and said, apparently I told my wife, I said, okay, this was like Twilight Zone kind of stuff. Because he was talking, he said, well, you know, this Matthew Leibelsberger said that China has this anti-gravity technology, and that they've been launching drones off of submarines over the East Coast for years, and that's what everybody in New Jersey's seeing. I just wanted to start cracking up laughing. I'm like, you got to be kidding me here. I said,
there's all kinds of people out there, really.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I told Valerie, I said that video was like 3 days old. It had 1.8 million views. I'm like, gosh. I said, this is just too much. You know, at this point.
Well, as much as I hate to say it, this whole drone hysteria thing caused a lot of local officials and politicians to take notice. And what they've been taking notice on Long Island, I'm talking about Long Island now, is there's certain rogue pilots that are flying close to like airports, and they're going to really look into it, and they're going to start really taking some action against these rogue pilots. And I hope they do identify them, because there's no need of things like that.
Yeah. You know, they're the last thing that we need right now. Okay. You know, we're fighting for our hobby, and these guys are going out there and just having a ball. And, you know, and these are the same kind of guys. These are the guys that will tweak the software to go above 400 feet, tweak the software to get rid of the geo zones, you know, all that kind of stuff. Right. And these guys are just bad news. They're just bad actors.
Yeah, be careful when you fly. Not so much here. I know we had a TFR yesterday. President Biden was in New Orleans, but for 6 hours. Well, what I could actually fly here, Captain Joe couldn't fly. But I'm sure up there in New York, I know somebody was saying they had some real small areas where you couldn't fly that you could fly before. So hey, check your apps and check everything before you take off for sure.
Absolutely, John.
Two 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, and they're going to lift that TFR that they put in place in Port Jeff Harbor, which is my favorite place to fly on Long Island. We'll see, and hopefully they don't bring it back.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna. This is a little bit of a different article here, and it's interesting here. Now, you guys probably remember DJI spent a boatload of money. You take a look at the buildings here where their headquarters is, but they're planning another headquarters for the Intelligent Aviation Systems Division. Okay, and it's going to be near where their headquarters are here, and it's real interesting. I mean, one thing that we all know, DJI is not hurting for money. All right. They are doing quite well, and it shows here. And it's interesting. It said Shenzhen super headquarters base spanning 117 hectares is visionary waterfront development aimed at attracting leading enterprises. DJI's presence as an anchor tenant underscores the city's ambition to dominate the low altitude economy, a sector valued at $93 billion currently and projected to soar to $137 billion by 2026. Low altitude economy revolves around activities conducted below 1,000 meters, such as drone deliveries and flying taxis. Shenzhen, often referred to as China's drone capital, has spearheaded the industry by introducing innovative regulations and pledging substantial infrastructure investments. So, really what this is we're talking about, I would think, manned drones, these kind of like shuttles to like airports and things like that. That's what they're
coming. They're coming too.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to get here sooner rather than later, and they're working on this technology and also drone deliveries as well too. Although one thing that I do want to say, they have been working on drone deliveries. I just read an article that Walmart dropped whoever they were using because it wasn't working well for them. And I mean, this has been talked about ever since I got into the drone space, over 10 years. Okay. They have been talking about it. I know Amazon they laid off a bunch of people from their aviation division because it's just not feasible. It just doesn't work. It's not something the way, the way things are laid out, for our homes and everything, it's not feasible. It's not viable. It's not something that's going to work. No. I mean, they've done things like, in something that I think is a good thing is like transporting stuff between hospitals. Okay. Yeah. That's a good thing. All right. And that, you're avoiding, getting in a vehicle and driving and traffic and things like that. And you don't have to get a full on helicopter to do something like that. That makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. But other things, like delivering pizza or medicine or just things like that. I mean, it's like if I need something from Walgreens delivered, okay, they'll deliver it same day. It's usually like we do it before 3 p.m. and they'll do it. Okay. There's no problem. It's usually, I think they use either Uber or somebody else that actually does the delivery, and it works. Okay. So,
I know if I had the opportunity to order something via a drone delivery, I would do it to check it out. I really would. But I would too. I don't think it's going to last. If it does,
it's not feasible. It's not the way our homes are, the way the places that we live. It's just not feasible. You can't do something.
The Amazon truck just pulled up about an hour ago. He went to 2 houses across the street and these 2 houses right here within probably 3 to 4 minutes. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, like UPS, and you can tell where we live, we're closer to a FedEx hub. So when I get FedEx deliveries, they're usually in the morning. When I get UPS deliveries, we're furthest away from the hub. So we're like last on like 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night is when they come. I mean, that's my own, right. It's like usually if I order something, my preference is having FedEx versus UPS because UPS doesn't come till later in the day. So, but
I'm laughing at Warren. I didn't buy no drone. I didn't get a drone today.
but that's that. So, okay, I just wanted to go over that right now. Now, this was a great article on Drone DJ. It was the top 2024 gadgets that DJI had out this year, and of course, number 1 was the Air 3S. Number 2, the Avata 2. Number 3, the Osmo Action 5 Pro. Number 4, the Neo. Number 5, the Mic 2. Number 6, Goggles 3 and Goggles N3. Number 7, the Power 1000 and Power 500. Johnny, and that reminds me, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the Power 1000? How do you like it?
I haven't used it out in the field. I mean, I've got it sitting on my workbench, and I've been using it to just charge, some low items. I actually plugged the FPV drone into it, the charger for it, but haven't taken it in the field. And I know Ken Hogbauer, he passed by here Monday and spent the night and then went on to Houston, but he's used it out in the field a couple times, and he loves it. So I think it's great. It's great. I know Joe's power went off I think it was Sunday actually. He plugged his router in and stuff. So yeah, it's very useful to have one of those powers. And they have been on sale again. Check Amazon daily. I say daily, but they've been they were doing like 4-hour spans of those. So yeah, if you would still be able to catch one, I think.
Did you get it for $375?
$379. I got the bag and the
you
got a good deal.
Now I ended up getting cables as well too. Like I got cables for the Air 3.
I got the charger.
And the other cables as well too, which was great.
Bud Bieber said he had to send it back, and I know Tom Dollins
problems. Yeah,
Tom Dollins is locked up, is bricked after the update. So, and I'm sure they always have. I mean, you have problems with, especially with updates and stuff. But Chris Hope says $5.99 a day, but it's been $4.19 again a few times since Black Friday there.
Yeah, I did see that. Now, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to get the solar option with that as well too, because we have a lot where we're at. I mean, we get sun, at least 3 or 4 hours in the backyard, which is facing east, and then the front, so it'll do a good job. And and a lot of people, and the first question I got from my wife, she goes, "Well, we have the generator. We have a generator. Yeah. Why did you do that?" And I'm like, okay, you know what? I said, it makes perfect sense. Even though we have that generator, okay, we can do things with it, because a lot of people don't realize when you have a generator that's powered by natural gas, you can't really use your gas appliances during that time. Like, for instance, you really can't use the stove during that time, and you really can't use the other, obviously hot water, but the other one is our dryer is a gas dryer. So you really can't use these appliances when it's gone, because it'll be like a brownout. It'll be like the lights will start to dim and stuff, and you don't want to do that. So what I told my wife was, I'm like, you know what, we can use this for, like if I want, like if we have something like that, like I can unplug the microwave, plug that in there, or things like that. We can use it for stuff like that. And she said it made sense. So plus I told her, I said, the other thing that I ended up getting was a mobile hotspot. All right. And I've been working for something like that, because after we had the hurricane, and we were without power. Literally, our generator ran for almost 4 days straight until they got our power back. But one of the things, like the next to last day, we lost internet. Okay. Verizon gone, kaput. All right. And I'm trying to log into work, and I couldn't log into work, and I had to burn a vacation day. And I'm like, I wasn't real crazy about having to burn a vacation day because I didn't have internet. So I ended up, it's made by Netgear, and it's a Nighthawk, and it uses T-Mobile, and I signed up for a T-Mobile plan, and I fired that up. I shut everything else off, and I fired that up, and it works like a champ. And it was $150, but I told my wife, I said, we have peace of mind that we'll not be without internet in the house.
So is it a monthly thing, Bill, or as you use it or something?
Yeah, it's a monthly thing. It's $50 a month with T-Mobile. It's very reasonable rates. And I talked to them at T-Mobile before I got it, because one of the things I was concerned about was, say if I'm logged on for work, because I do a lot of volume of data going through there, okay? And I asked him about that. He said, you know what? He says, when it peaks, okay, the only thing it'll do, it may slow it down a little bit, but you won't get charged extra for it. It's like it's capped out at $50 a month or something like that. So, I mean, I think that works great.
I know. I'm thinking of getting Starlink. Starlink's supposed to be very, very good too.
Yes, I would. Yep. Well, there was a special that Elon had going with Starlink. It was through December. They were having like a no. Their monthly fee was waived until December for that, so you didn't have to pay their monthly access fee for like 6 months. And that started out. He literally gave hundreds of people in North Carolina who went through the hurricane, gave them to them for free. Now, from what I understand, and I did some research on that as well, and that's something I think we're also looking at for maybe like a permanent internet solution for our house instead of having we have I forget who we have here.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyway,
and the dish, a lot of the mini dish is not much bigger than this. It might even be the same size. You can put it on the dashboard of your car.
Yeah, and what they tell people to do is to put it on the eave or the corner of a roof, because you need, and obviously it needs to point up to the sky. It's like DirecTV. You know, you need to pick up those signals. But everybody said all the reviews I said it works really, really well, and you get great speeds with it. So that's something for a permanent solution that I think I'm going to look into myself as well too, because I don't like having to burn vacation days. It's like no, we're not.
I hate to brag about my son, but my son has the Starlink out in California, and he loves it. So far, he loves it. He really does.
It works well. It really does. It really does. No, Dr. Ted, it's not. It's actually, I think I looked at it. It's like $360, $370. It's not really that bad. Where you run into some costs though is if you want to mount it on your roof. That's when it starts to get pricey. And there's some local installers who will do it. However, that's probably going to run you about another $300, $400 to do that. It has a 50-foot cord, so you probably need to get an extension to get that into your house if you're going to mount it on your roof. But all in all, it looks like a great solution. I think that's one of the things I think we're going to take a look at here. Now, one of the things that I wanted to go ahead and let's see what else here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, there is a monthly fee. Yeah,
it is a monthly fee on there. So, DJI Strategic 2025 Drone Launch Pipeline amid U.S.-China tensions here. Okay. Now, the first thing that's going to be released, and this is coming out on January 8th, 2025 at 8 a.m. You see right here, it says DJI Enterprise. It's a Matrice 4. And Matrice 4 Enterprise Thermal Series scheduled for unveiling on January 8th. Platform represents a significant evolution in DJI's commercial drone offerings, featuring sophisticated quad sensor array and enhanced thermal imaging capabilities. While building on successful Mavic 3 platform, the Matrice 4 ET introduces specialized mounting points for professional payloads and RTK positioning support through nodal LiDAR capabilities for obstacle points. Okay. My son-in-law, there he is.
Gentlemen.
Oh.
Hey, Marcus.
Marcus, you know, Johnnie wants you. Did you see Johnny's hat?
I see that. Yeah.
He said he's getting paid.
Well, I think it's a fair trade.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Fair trade.
What's up, Marcus?
I better switch up.
Oh,
there you go, Morgan.
All right.
Nice hat.
Oh, man.
My son-in-law was telling me about the Matrice 3 RTK that he uses on his job. He said the precision on that is just out of this world, because the company that he works for, they do underground utility on site, and currently they're working on I believe an Amazon project near Columbus. They're building a distribution center in Amazon, and it's down to the centimeter with accuracy. These things are, they're just tremendous. Okay. And he's just so impressed with the drone and with its capabilities and everything. And now this is going to go up to another level with this. So that's coming out. Then we're going to talk about the Flip here in a minute. This looks like probably somebody's rendition of a box right there. And then the Mavic 4 Pro is coming out, and we're going to talk about that as well. Strategic timing amid political uncertainty. And of course, you know, I'll let you guys read that article through to your heart's content. But yeah, we have some releases coming up here, and it's not too long. And what we're hearing right now is, let me go ahead and get this article up here. All right. Is that the Flip is probably going to be coming out next week. And this article talks about strategic weight management for the flip. It's sub 250 grams, which is fantastic. Advanced features in a compact frame. Foldable design that emphasizes portability without compromising capability. Most intriguing addition is LED display mounted above the 3-axis gimbal system. Unlike the Air 3S's LiDAR-based optical avoidance system, this screen serves to display flight mode, suggesting a focus on user accessibility and immediate feedback during operation. And they're talking about this right here on the.
Is that anything like this LED screen right here on the hover? That, by the way, shoots in 8K.
There you go.
That's a nice
Yeah.
drone.
And imaging capabilities. Sample image shared by Igor hints at the flip's photographic potential, suggesting DJI continues to prioritize image quality even in its more compact offerings. While detailed specifications remain under wraps, this sample indicates the flip could compete with more premium modes in terms of image quality, and that's a really good picture from the flip. And the launch they're rumored at is next week. Now, also want to take a look at, now there was some pricing that had come out on it as well, and let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Yeah, I didn't
The price point's a big thing. It really is.
Yeah. Now, DJI Flip accessory surface at European retailer revealing full product line and pricing here. Okay. Now, these pricings you hear these are in euro, but euro's pretty close to accurate here. DJI Flip parallel charging hub, $45. ND filter set, $48. Care refresh, $78. Intelligent flight battery, $68. Flip propellers, $8.99. DJI Care refresh 1 year plan for $45.99. And it talks about the battery, charging hub, ND filters, Care refresh, and propellers here. So when you start to get these kind of things, it's just really kind of like leading. We're knowing that it's really kind of imminent, and it's going to be coming here. And the article also talks about the pricing on the flip itself, and it's really kind of going to be between where the Neo is at the lower price point, and say like a DJI Mini 4 type of drone is. It's going to be in that kind of like sweet spot right there, right in the middle. So it's really DJI is kind of covering all bases in terms of the pricing, where pricing is going to land on this. And I think this is you're probably going to see this at about maybe the $400-$500 range, which is going to be fantastic for what you get, for what I'm seeing on here.
Bill, that's the problem with this one, and Captain Ray was right on. It's kind of a price dependent thing. This kit that I have retails for $879.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I don't know who's going to pay that for it.
Yeah.
Not many.
It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast with it, but I wouldn't have paid $879 for it. I can tell you that.
Yeah. See, and
what's the flight time on that, Marcus?
I've never flown. I'm trying to remember now. I think about 16 minutes, Captain Ray. Not terribly long, but for that kind of drone, it's you're not really flying it. It's like the Neo. It's autonomous mostly.
Yeah, short burst of.
Did it say the flight time on that flip, Bill? Did it say the flight time?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be about maybe 20 plus minutes.
Okay.
The one thing that intrigues me is some of the pictures I've seen of the flip, and I'm scrolling through what Igor has posted and what Jasper Ellens has posted and things. They posted they had the controller with it as well too. So evidently that's going to be an option when you're looking at something like that. And I think the price point where Marcus was mentioning, that the hover's at, I think it's going to be closer to that if you're going to get this type of an option with it. So
I think it'll fly with the latest RC.
Right.
Too.
Right.
So most people,
I think that's something that people need to be aware of with this, for sure.
Motion controller, maybe, Johnny?
I would say so. I would think. Just looking at it, and after having a Neo, I don't know. I don't really see the idea of the flip myself, because it's not gonna be able to fly in the wind, and you just better off buying an Nevada 2. And personally, that's just my personal opinion. But I'm
just gonna say I'm with Dr. B.
What's that?
Well, he's got a comment up there.
Dr. B. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. And then, that's where, that's one of the things we're going to go ahead and take a look at that right now, the Mavic 4 Pro, because that's what we've been talking about for like the longest time. And it's incredible what we're seeing in terms of, we're going to go over what we know right now. And these articles are on Drone XL, by the way, just to let you guys know. Now, this first one right here, it talks about the specs on the Mavic 4 Pro. OcuSync 4 Plus, 04 Plus, 52-minute flight time, 1,045 grams, okay? Release date of April 2025. Now, they're also talking about a 100 megapixel pictures from this camera as well, too. So, and the other big thing on this is stepless electronic ND filters. The stepless electronic ND filters means no more switching ND filters out to ensure the best image quality. A nice touch for sure, and we'll remove one more accessory to not forget when going out for a fly. Now, I think this is a good thing because I don't know about you guys. I don't do a lot of ND filters, but when I put ND filters on, I usually do them on the house on my desk because I know, if I have fumble fingers or everything, if I drop it, it's going to go on the desk. If I'm outside, it's not, it'll go on the ground, and if I'm out on the grass, it could get lost. It's a real pain to do it out in the field. It's always good to do it. For me, the way I do it is when I use them is I do it, on my desk. But if I'm, out in the field trying to do it, I don't want to mess around with that. And this is going to take care of that. Plus, I don't know. This is something that you could change like mid-flight. Like if the sun has changed, the sun has gone down, and you want to flip from one ND filter to another, can you be able to do that? I don't know, but I'm thinking you could. Now, the other thing with this too, and this is something, and I've seen a lot of comments on this, okay, is aesthetically, this is a very different looking type of drone.
Right? Yes, it is.
It's even away from like the Matrice kind of style body. It's like Matrice, Mavic, Air type bodies, okay, have kind of had a lot of similarities. This one doesn't. And a lot of people have also commented too about the gimbal up front, because if this thing crashes, if you have any kind of accident with that, it's like goodbye camera, goodbye gimbal. All right. It's gone. Yeah. It's going to be toast. Okay. Like if you hit anything going forward with that, or if you crash this, it's toast. So number one, get care refresh. Okay.
I was going to say 2 words: care refresh.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no qualms about this. The other thing that I want to prep people for is this. And I said this before the Mavic 3 Pro came out. I said, I hope you have a lot of money in your piggy bank. All right. Because this is not going to be cheap. All right. This is going to be up there because by the time, let's say you get, and they're probably going to have a new controller with this too, because if they're going to do OcuSync 4, I'm sure it's going to have a new controller with it. And I'm sure that's going to go out there. And if you were to get like a Flymore kit with that new controller, this is going to go upwards. My guess is, this is just my guess, you're probably going to see it north of $3,000.
Definitely. I agree, Bill.
So, Bill, is there going to be an option for a Pro controller?
That was the next thing I was going to talk about, Marcus. Okay, because it's been at least 2, if not 3 years since they've come out with the Pro controller. All right, and I would make a bet that they're going to have that available as an option. Okay, and if that's the case, all right, because the Pro, the controller right now, it's still right around $1,000 if you go out there and look at it. So you can expect to add $1,000 onto that price if you want to get that Pro controller with it. So, but yeah, that's a great point, Marcus. I mean, I love the Pro controller. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic. But the other controllers that they've come out with have been every bit as good. Now, it does have a higher nit rate on it, so it's a little bit better out in the sun. And battery life is probably a little bit better too on those as well. I don't know.
There's definitely more options with the Pro controller. It's got more buttons and more things you can do with it.
Yeah, you can add the apps and stuff where you can't do it, on the RC2s. So,
yep.
And it has more
the
memory.
The question is, when do you think it's going to be released? I know I've heard late late April. Then I heard early April.
The article, and there's a 100 megapixel image sensor right here, and here it is in action. Oxygen 4 DJI RC-2, 1,045 grams. Release date April 2025. Now, I did hear some things on this, and a lot of people are saying it's probably going to be in March, and probably early in March. And I think a lot of this may have to tie into all the hoopla going on in Washington and everything. I think they want to get this out sooner rather than later in terms of, a potential ban or some other action being taken in DC. So I think people are going to want to get their hands on this. I'm
sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead.
Well, last night on Drone Nation, and Johnnie was on there, Mike Wright made a really good point. He said, I don't know if I need the Mavic 4, but he says, I can tell you right now I'm going to buy it. And his reasoning was that if there is some sort of ban or something, he'll have DJI's latest and greatest, and he'll be able to fly it for 3, 4, 5 years, as it is. So his reasoning is, you should buy it while you can.
And he's right. That's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, Michael. That's a great comment. I don't know if you're in the chat or not, but that is a great point.
Mike wasn't here.
The other thing,
no doubt, it's going to be an awesome drone. I mean, there's so many great features, and it's going to be a home run. Another home run for DJI.
Hey, Bill. Oh, I'm sorry. One more point. I know that there's people that are criticizing because they're saying that maybe it doesn't have LiDAR like the Air 3S. What do you think?
It's going to have LiDAR. It would have to. I mean, if the Air 3S has it,
that's what I.
It's going to have that. Now, one of the other things that I want to say is this too, is, accessories will probably continue to be available for it, even if there is a ban. But, and this is a huge but, I would go out there, if you're going to invest in this, get at least, get some spare batteries beyond what comes with a Fly More kit. Because if you want to keep this for a while, you're going to need extra batteries. So 3 will be fine, even if it has a long run time, but you want to have more out there, especially if they say, they cut it off and they say, we're also going to cut off accessories as well too, like batteries. So that would be something that you would definitely want to do. And this is the kind of drone that I would recommend not only getting, like my personal articles policy on, but getting a 2 or 3 year care refresh on something like this, because this is the kind of drone that if you have an accident on it, okay, there's no repairing it. Okay. You're going to need to use your replacement option. Okay. With the way that gimbal is exposed out there, it's going to be good night. It will be toast. I can't.
Batteries. You definitely need the batteries. Yep, and it's good to have extras.
And this is the kind of drone I think. It kind of tips the scales in terms of it's leaning a little bit more towards professionals rather than consumers. But I think it's still, and I like what Marcus said about the Mavic 3 Pro, and I agree with him. There's a lot of things on the Mavic 3 Pro that there's a lot that I use. There's a lot that I don't use because I'm not, I'm not a professional videographer. Okay. I don't use things like LUTs. I don't do, I don't get in there and mess with codecs and things like that. All right. And a lot of guys do that kind of stuff. And God bless Dobo and Billy and other people that do all that. I just don't go out there and do that. Now, again, that leans more towards a professional type of use, but yeah, you can still do this. And this is one of these things here, because I know Dr. Ted, he's probably going to get one. And I know a lot of you out there will probably do the same. And, the thing is, this is something that still can be used as a hobbyist. You can still have a lot of fun with this drone, and it's going to have incredible capabilities. And, one of the things that I'm interested in and that I haven't seen anything on is what the onboard storage is going to be. All right. Yeah. Because, they kind of stepped that up like with the Air 3S with onboard storage, which I think is fantastic. Absolutely. I want to see what it's going to be like on the Mavic 4 Pro. So I think it's going to be even more or equivalent. And they're trying to get away from having to do the SD card kind of thing, which I think is a very good thing, because I don't know about you guys, but there's been several times I get out there, I'm ready to fly, and I hit the record button before I take off, and it says can't record, no SD card, and I'm like, or it'll tell me there's no SD card in there, and and I'm going out for a long flight, and 8 gigabytes onboard storage isn't going to cut it. So
the 44.
Everybody's done that many times, and I always keep a couple of extras now in my bag. I really do.
But the 44 gigs on the Air 3S is so nice to. I mean, I'm like Ray. I got extra cards, but I tell you what, you don't even have to fool with the cards a lot of time. So that's you may be looking at 64, or even, I mean, it possibly have, I don't know if it have 128, but it'll definitely have more than 44. So,
oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, with the 52-minute flight time on there as well, too, I mean, that's incredible. All right. If it gets even close, let's say for grins and giggles, you get at actual 45 minutes on something like this. All right. That you're actually up in the air. All right. And I know for me, after probably about 30 or so, my fingers in my dexterity, I mean, it's still, I'm still very good as far as that's concerned, but you get kind of tired after a while. I mean, and how long, and realistically speaking, okay, like some of the longer flights that I've taken with my drones, all right, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, that kind of thing, and not longer than that. Maybe, like, I did one where I did like encircled the whole development, and then I went back through and stuff. That was about a 30-minute flight. But by that time, my hand's kind of tired. Even though I have this neck strap on, my hand's still kind of tired with the controller, and especially with the sticks. And I know we have cruise control and things like that, but for a lot of the times, I want to get out there. I want to be holding on to those trust cruise control, but on one end. But I'd rather want to be in control all the time with something like that. So, so Marcus, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
No, we were talking about internal memory, and I was just going to mention that's what that Hover Air. It's kind of cool. It's got 64 gigs of internal memory, so I didn't even bother putting a card in it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. So I'm thinking this is going to come out in March, and that's some of the things I've seen out there. I've checked what Jasper and Igor have said. They said April is what the official date is, according to them. But they're hearing rumblings that it's going to be in March sometime. And I think the sooner the better for something like this.
Yeah.
Because of everything that's going on in DC and with Congress and everything, I think people are right. Now, one of the other things that I saw, and I got a comment on today, and somebody actually sent me an email on this. This was very interesting. Was people are still having issues with like Air 3S in terms of getting it here. And it's almost always coming through DHL, and they're still coming from over in China. They're still not coming from here in the U.S., which I think so. It's kind of interesting how that's working right now. And I think they're saying they're hopeful that this isn't going to continue, but if it does, some people are still having problems with customs and with issues and things like that. I mean, I'm hopeful that this is going to get cleared up, but I think this may be why DJI is pushing to get this out. Go ahead, John.
Scott Nadeau said last night that he has two, him and his son. They're tied up in customs, and I'm not sure where Scott is at.
He's in Minnesota.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know where his customs hub is.
Right.
Hey, Bill, I wanted to point out, Oren in the chat has a question about the Air 3S, about the small remote control. Now, DJI kind of teased a beacon for a while there, and we just haven't seen anything on that in a long time. So my guess is they're probably still refining it. Who knows when it'll be out? But
that's a good point. Thank you. I mean, I find looking for that thing from Lauren. I didn't see it right there, but that's a good point. That was another thing because I know I don't know if it was Jasper or Igor. They'd put out some information regarding that, and then all of a sudden, like right before the release, they said, "Well, no, it's not ready yet. They're going to let us know." And there really still hasn't been a lot of information regarding that. And I'm wondering if that's going to come out about the time as the Mavic 4 Pro comes out. I don't know, but I think it's going to be coming out sooner rather than later. And also, too, get your pocketbooks ready, because it's not. This isn't gonna be cheap. I mean,
but Bill, I do kind of agree with Bill Thomas. We talked about this last. I personally think, and Bill wrote it. I think it's going to be a lot less than we think. I don't mean a lot less, but it's going to be cheaper than we think. That's
really.
I do. The last 2 drone releases of Avata 2 and the Air 3S is actually come down in price when you think about, when at the time they came out. So we'll see.
Well, I hope it does get released before the South Florida drone meetup, because I'd love to see quite a few of them there. That's for sure.
Yeah, no lie.
That will be nice. And now Lauren also points out here, they're also changing up North American distributors, which doesn't help, and that's in terms of getting them here. And I did notice that people are getting them. It seems like it's a little bit faster, but it's not much. And what's real interesting was, and you guys all know about my saga, my Air 3S saga, and and finally got that resolved and everything, and I'm finally feeling good enough that I'm going to get some videos out about it soon. But one of the things that I wanted to say was those replacements that I got came directly from Canada. Not from, they weren't, they came directly from Canada, and it was UPS. Okay. And also, by the way, and this is good news for Canadians, their postal strike was finally resolved. Got some information on that today, which is good news. So, because there's a couple things that I had mailed to Canada, and I had to send it UPS instead of US mail. So, but that's some good news as far as that's concerned. So yeah, Mavic 4 Pro, it'll be here probably. My guess is sometime around March. Your pricing may be right. Now, I did see Jaybird said $2,500. I'm thinking it's going to be closer to $3,000, but I don't think it's going to eclipse $3,000. But if they have a new Pro controller that comes out with it, all bets are off in terms of that pricing on that option.
Right. That would be an option.
For something like that. That would probably be about $3,500 if you wanted to go that route. Now, we'll see. And if it has all these capabilities and these features that we are seeing right here, this is probably going to be the best, I'll call it, prosumer drone that DJI has ever come out with, bar none. I mean, to have all these capabilities and features out here with a 52-minute runtime. Wow. I mean, that's quite a bit. So we'll see.
It'll have some wow features that we don't even know about yet. I guarantee.
Exactly, Marcus. Exactly. That's where that's at. So. And what a way to start off 2025. Okay, here we are. The Matrice 4 is coming out this week. Probably the Flip's coming out next week, right at the same time, right around then. And then not too long, right before the meetup, we got the Mavic 4 Pro. And Captain Ray, want to get an update. How are things going with the meetup and the planning for all that?
Great. I'll tell you, great. We got 126 people signed up. They say they're coming. We only had 3 cancellations, and the hotel is just about full. Johnnie called today, and 20 rooms of a block of 25 have been booked already. And if you're coming, book your hotel if you want to get that special rate, that discounted rate they give us. It's the Hampton Inn and Suites, Stewart North, and you got to call the hotel direct, and you're going to get that rate of $139. That weekend, the rate is $277. Just to let everybody know.
Crazy parties that go on, drone parties. I'm telling you, crazy drone parties that go on in that hotel. I mean, there's
parties, crazy drone parties. That's for sure. Okay.
But the other thing, Bill, is I can't even get close to my desk anymore because I got a lot of raffle prizes here.
Oh my gosh! Look at this.
Well, look at this. Fantastic. We got the DJI Air 3S from Jeremy Alms, and then we got some Neos here. I can't even get under my desk. Really. So it's coming together nice. Put it that way, Bill.
And I tell you what, Valerie, it's one of the first questions she asked me after became the New Year. She says, "When's the meetup again?" Because she's like all last year, she really, I mean, she liked the first one, but the one we went to last year, she was like, when is it? Okay, are we all set? We're ready to go and all that. She's like, I'm like, yeah.
We love to hear that when the women want to come back, and that's great. It really is.
She loved it. She had a fantastic time last time. She really did. I mean, I can't say enough about her enjoying that. And I mean, it's like if she's asking me this, it's just like, somebody saying, what did you put in her drink or something? I mean, let me give that to my wife so they can be excited about this as well too. But no, this is a great, this is one of the, Bob had a good meetup out in Vegas. That was a great deal. I know people had a great time out there. And I'm really thankful that he was able to do that. I think geographically speaking for us, I mean, it's a 3-hour drive for us. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
Here. And I'm going to tell you this, if you can get out there, get to this. I've been trying to talk. You guys know who Jeff Boyd is, okay? I've had him on the channel. He's from Annapolis. He does a lot. He's full-time. He's a full-time videographer now. He retired from his job in finance, and he's doing this full-time. And I'm trying to twist his arm, and I think now that he's retired, I think we may see him down there as well.
Well, I'd love to meet him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. He really is. I absolutely love him. I can't say enough about him.
I don't know if Marcus wants to tell everybody, but Sarah's coming back too.
She is. She is.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. That'll be fantastic.
Meet Sarah again, and I'm looking forward to that.
She's pretty excited to hang out.
And Susan.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, and obviously Bob's wife is coming.
Ray, we just need Cheryl. We need Cheryl there, Ray.
Oh, that's going to take a lot, believe me.
Well, Sarah told me she wanted to hang out.
I mention it once a week, though. I mention it once a week.
Yeah.
She wanted to hang out with Johnny's girlfriend, but I told her, I said, I don't know if Johnny's bringing her.
Well, she says she's coming every year, but she just never shows up.
John Gregory's bringing his wife, Holly. Yeah.
She watches.
It's going to be a great time. And obviously, Jay Bird, he's bringing his wife and daughter. Madeline's coming back.
That was great to meet Jay Bird. I really like meeting him and his wife and his daughter. And, it's just he's a good guy. And I'm real happy that. And then I'm trying to remember Dr. What's his name? He lives over in Fort Lauderdale. The anesthesiologist.
Michael and John Boren? You're talking about, they're on the West Coast.
I'm trying to remember. He lives near Fort Lauderdale. So I know he's also a Panthers fan as well, too. And he talked to us for the longest time. And he goes, this was so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but he's like, can you introduce me to Marcus and Ron? And I'm like, absolutely, sure. I mean, we're not, we don't charge for autographs or anything like crazy like that. I mean, he was I absolutely enjoyed talking to him, and I'm looking forward. And I know you're probably out in the chat, and I apologize. And I'm friends with him on Facebook. The name slips my mind.
I don't know, Bill. The first time I met Marcus,
really.
The first time I met Marcus, I shook his hand, but then he had his hand out. I don't know what to do.
But we do get a lot of superstars, and you guys know who they are. Really,
get rid of that.
Every once in a while, I mention it, but we got a lot of drone celebrities that come to the South Florida Drone Meetup. But we also welcome newbies, new drone pilots too.
Absolutely.
We really do. We encourage that.
And kids, we want some young kids. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Jay Bird. Appreciate that. No, it's just it's a great thing. It's great seeing them. Got to meet Lauren. I mean, that was fantastic. I enjoyed meeting him. And then the folks from your Sunday show, Marcus.
Drone Seekers, yeah.
Stephen Gardner's coming back with his wife, Haley. We're going to get to meet Steve's wife.
Yeah. He's bringing Haley with him. And so, and year after that, I'll bet we'll see Jackie. I'll bet you.
That would be great.
I hope
that would be great.
Yeah.
And and I have to say this, okay? This is one of these things that I think, a lot of you guys know, I'm part of the ham radio community, okay? And they're good guys. There's a lot of good stuff that goes on with them. But I really like this here because this is just one of these things that is just it's a bonding experience. I don't know how else to tell you. You know, it's like you feel good after this. It's like I told Valerie, I said, you know what, my batteries have been charged for a year. After meeting everybody, look at this. Look at
yeah, that's it. That looks good, Marcus.
No, yeah.
Oh, spoil rotten.
She brings it right up here to me. I know it. I'm spoiled.
Well,
Hi,
you
Sarah.
are
Hi,
a
Sarah.
blessed man, my friend.
We better get her in here for a second. Come on.
Sarah.
I tell you, Sarah, we're so glad you are coming back to the South Florida Drone Meetup.
Okay.
She doesn't. She's just not gonna do
well,
it.
you got her on screen once, which is good, Marcus.
Yeah.
You got her on screen, so that's a good thing. But no, really, Ray, what you've done and what you continue to do for the drone community, you know, it's priceless. You know, the experience.
I have a great drone meetup committee, and Johnny's part of it. He's a big part of it, really, and so are the other guys, really. It's a team effort all the way around.
The drones are fun, but look, you can come and don't even bring your drone, and you're gonna have just as much fun. I'll tell you that. You know, there's a lot of flying going on, but you know what? The day of the meetup, actually, you know what? But we do fly the next day. That Sunday is a great day because it's kind of a free day, and that's a blast.
It is. And the pre-meetups. Now there's pre-meetups.
Yeah.
To the South Florida Drone Meetup.
Don't listen to Johnny. Bring your drone.
Oh, bring your drone. Of course. Yeah, you got to bring 2 or 3 of them.
And the other thing is, you know, as these guys are talking, you know, it's just not that day on that Saturday. If you can make it just for the day, that's great.
Yep.
But if you can kind of come like maybe that Friday or Thursday and stay through Sunday, you know, there's a lot going on.
The meet and greet on Friday is definitely worth it. That is good time. The meet and greet at Stick Billiard Club. Bill,
the billiard club.
Got to take my hat off to Bill. He does a great job with that. He's responsible for that sponsorship, and we all have a great time at Sticks.
Yeah, they did
Don't
a great job
Johnny?
Last year.
Absolutely, and this is something. Well, what's good for me was we found a new route down there, which was even better than the first route because there's no interstate to get over there. So, you know, it's back roads, but we found some really good back roads to get there. And it really was a lot quicker than the first time we went there. So I was really pleased with the route that we went. So like I said, Valerie's like already talking about it already. So
Bill, are you staying at the event hotel there, Bill? Are you
we're going to stay there. Yeah. I'm going to book. I'm going to call up. It's just like right now, this is like the first chance. I've been alive. I'm alive right now.
I happened to call down there today and talk to Christina, and I think she said, she said 20, but then she said somebody had just said they might have 21. And they went. I know last year they went over a little bit.
Sometimes they extended, but I wouldn't count on it.
I wouldn't wait too much longer for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a perfect place for it. I mean, you know, you couldn't ask for a better hotel for the proximity to where the actual event is. That is just fantastic. And Ray, that is just great that you got hooked up with them and that they're doing
4 years now. They've been holding that same rate for us. Really, really does say thank you.
The only thing we need to pray for is to have weather like we did the past year. Okay, the weather that we had last year was fantastic for that. You couldn't ask for better because I know one year, and it was the first. It may have been the first year or second. I'm not sure. That it was so windy. It was just
the first year. The first year was very windy.
Was really windy. But you know, since then, and I'm sorry. I think I'm reaching my talking limit for the day. So, but no, you know, Ray, you do a great job with this, and I know everybody that works with you. I know Johnny, Bill, everybody else. Kudos to you guys, and thank you for doing this. It's a wonderful service to the drone community. If you guys get a chance. I know Ray has it posted out there on the South Florida Drone Meetup. You have a group out on Facebook for that, Ray, don't you?
Yeah, we have 2 actually. The 5th annual South Florida Drone Meetup and the South Florida Drone Meetup group. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want all the FYI, go out there and it has all the information you need to get there. All you got to do is show up. Okay. That's all you got to do.
Bill, we have an apparel shop now too. Well, we don't, but Jeremy Alms created an apparel merchandise shop.
Yeah, I saw.
Can I tell everybody what it is?
Yeah, go for it.
fdmshop.com, and you can see all the different merchandise that you can order right now. Yeah, he did a great job with that.
And I'm going to try to drop some links out on Build a Drone Reviewer's Facebook group and page, so everybody will see that out there. But again, that's coming up. That's sooner than you think. Okay, I mean, it's like the first week in January, but April's going to be here before you know it. So make sure that you get your reservations in if you want to stay overnight. You're going to be headed. You're going to have a great time. I guarantee it. You're going to have a lot of fun there. So, guys, anything else to wrap things up with here before we close things out?
Fly drones, have fun.
Enjoy it. Great show.
Get out there, fly for fun. Most importantly, fly safely.
Yeah, fly safe.
I concur with all these guys. And thank you guys all for it was a great year in 2024. We're going to have a better year this year than last year. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to, it starts with you going out there, hitting the sticks and enjoying your drones. As always, guys, remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care, and thanks for a great episode.
All right, good night,
Have a good night, everybody.